Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and this is the all-new Samsung Galaxy Watch 8 Classic. They've actually brought back the rotating bezel and updated the design. Now this comes in at $449.99, goes up to $499.99 with LTE, and according to the website, that's now $50 less. Now I'm not sure if they'll bump the price back up, but that's what it's listed at. So it comes with 64 gigabytes of storage. Let's go ahead and open it up. So you'll see this is the Classic, and it has Wi-Fi and GPS along with Bluetooth, so it does not have LTE. Let's remove the little pull tabs here. There we go. Now let's flip it over, and this is 46 millimeters, so this is a pretty large watch overall, and you can see the watch here. Let's go ahead and see what we've got in the box. So we'll remove this. And we've got a quick start guide, pretty typical. And then in the bottom here, it looks like we have probably a charging cable. There we go, a typical charger. So we have the normal charger that comes with it, along with USB-C. We don't get a charger included, but of course you can plug that into a computer or something you already have. We'll set the box aside and let's see what we've got here. So we've got the watch itself, and then we have the strap. Now there's quite a few options as far as the strap goes. This time around we have 4 different bands with many variants of each, but basically sport, fabric, athleisure, and hybrid. This is the hybrid band it appears to be with the new lug system, so it's designed to be a little bit more comfortable this time around. So let's set this aside, take a look at the watch, and it looks like that's what we get in the box with it. So let's close this up and take a look. So this is 46 millimeters, like I said. It has that rotating bezel, so it feels nice. There's a nice little click there for each detent, so you know where it stops and it sort of clicks in place each time. And as far as the overall design, let's take a look before we put the band on. So you can see on the left-hand side, it looks like we've got a speaker. We've got our lug connector on the bottom. On the right-hand side, we've got our different buttons here as well. And then on the top, again, the other lug connector. On the back, we have our biometric sensors, and this feels like it's plastic here, but the frame is actually stainless steel. So it feels pretty good. It's a little bit heavy, given that it's stainless steel, but the overall design looks really good. So 46 millimeters here. Let's go ahead and connect the actual band itself. So with the band, it should click in pretty simply with a little button here. There we go. And now it's locked into place. We'll do the same on the top here. So you can sort of push it into place, but you push the little button here and it clicks into place, and now it's secure. So let's go ahead and turn it on for the first time. So we'll see if we can boot it up. There we go. We had some haptic feedback. It now says Samsung, and we'll get it set up. I've actually been looking forward to using this, and to give you a size comparison idea once it boots up, here's the Galaxy Watch Ultra from last year. So overall, it's pretty close in size, so definitely a larger size watch. You can see the overall thickness, definitely a lot thinner than what we have with the Ultra, and the overall sensors look pretty much the same. But the overall weight is about the same as the Ultra when you're holding them in your hand, and that gives you an idea there. There was some nice haptic feedback where it says welcome, and let's go ahead and get it set up. So wait for it to boot up. It says Galaxy Watch 8 Classic EQQV. Check for pairing pop-up on your phone. So we'll bring over the Z Fold7. It pops up by itself. We'll tap connect. Give it just a moment here, and we'll get it set up. There we go. It says check the number on your watch. We'll tap confirm, and we can get it set up pretty simply. It says check your phone to complete setup. It's downloading software, so it may need to do that to connect and maybe update it as well. Then we have to agree to the terms, so we'll agree here. You don't have to agree to the different automatic updates. You can, it's up to you. And automatic updates, I agree to all, or if you don't want to send diagnostics, you don't have to. It also says allow the App Watch Manager to access Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, and you'll see all of the different things here. I'll allow it, and it says getting ready to connect. It connected with the Google account. Now it says meet Gemini, your personal assistant. You can actually use it on the watch. We'll explore that in a little bit. It also says go hands-free. You can use Google with the word hey in front of it. We'll tap continue here, and I agree. And then also it can use voice match. We'll tap I agree again, and then it says installed on your device, recommended for watch, so you can install all of these different apps if you'd like, or just skip them for now. Now I'm signed into my Google account, and it says select quick button action, open my exercises. We have options for start walking, start running, start biking, flashlight, water lock. So we'll just leave it for open my exercises for now, and then we'll tap next. It says set your wearing preference, left or right, and button position. That's good for me. And then it says text size and appearance. I'm going to turn this up a little bit and maybe make it bold. You can see what it looks like there. So if it's easier to read, maybe on a smaller display, we'll tap next. And then it says track the stress of your vascular system. Monitor your vascular load to help you live a heart-healthy lifestyle. So we can do that. Understand your sleep, that's something new, and then also take your running to the next level. It says take a 12-minute test to find your current running level and start training. You have a running coach as well. We'll tap next. We have suggested replies, get help in an emergency, and it says finishing setup. Now that it's finishing, we actually have a 3nm CPU, an Exynos W1000. It has 2 GB of RAM, now with 64 GB of storage. Durability-wise, this is actually military standard 810H, which means it's undergone a test that repeats from -20C for an hour to 50C for 1 hour for a total of 6 hours. And then we have a 445 milliamp hour battery, which is good up to 30 hours with the always-on display turned on, or 40 hours with it turned off. So we'll give it just a moment here. It says monitor your heart health quickly. We'll go ahead and download the app, and you can see, of course, the regular things that are installed. We'll give it just a second to continue starting. So we'll install that now for the health monitor. We'll go back, and you can see the standard watch face. So we can go ahead and take a tour of the watch. So let's go ahead and start. So if you've never seen one of these, you can see it says swipe down from the top to open the quick panel. There we have some options. We can swipe side to side. It says great, next finding your apps. There we go. It says for apps, swipe up from the bottom. Then we can get into our apps, of course. We can rotate the bezel as well. It says now let's learn about tiles. And it says swipe left for tiles. So you have different information such as health or energy scores. And it says now we'll check notifications. We'll tap next. And notifications are from the left. And then you can see tap to open this notification. So swipe right from the edge to go back, and then you can go to the previous screen as well. So swipe right and back, and then press home to go to the watch face screen. And that's it. So that gives you a quick tour of the watch itself. And now we should be able to rotate the bezel to go back and forth. We can go left and right with that bezel, and then of course scroll through different things. So we have a standard watch face here, and we have some other options as well. If we press and hold, of course we can customize. We can turn to add a watch face. We can edit on the phone. So let's go ahead and do that. And you can see all of the available watch faces here. So Pro Analog, Fresh, we've got Minimal Analog, a lot of different options here with Galaxy Watch. So maybe digital dashboard. We can set that. That looks similar to what I've used on an Apple Watch as well, but we have lots of different options here, and it seems like quite a few more and some customizations as well. So if we swipe home, let's go ahead and go into the watch itself, and you'll see that we have some different information. We can press the button on the side, go right into my exercises here, and then of course you can select. You can use the bezel here, or you can swipe through, whichever one works for you. And then, of course, if we go back home with this button, we're there. We can push the other button as well, where depending on what you have it set up to, you can use it for your wallet. Now, if we go home here, let's go back home, swipe down, we'll go into settings. And if we swipe down here, let's see what we've got. We'll go all the way down. Under software information, you can see it's OneUi version 8 watch. We also have system version 16, WearOS 6. So this is all up to date with the latest information and updates. And then we have some different things here. So if we go back home and then maybe we'll swipe up, we've got different options here. So not only do we have our typical health options, but if we go into health, You can see our energy score. Of course, I've barely used this, just turning it on. You can see find your running level, and it also tracks your sleep. So if we go into sleep, we have additional information here. We have personalization based on unique patterns. It can send reminders to help you stick with it, and it also analyzes sleep and can recommend a good bedtime based on your circadian rhythm. It also can track your heart stress while you sleep. So you'll see here, it says balance rest, activity with AI. We'll tap start. Give it a moment here. You'll have to agree, of course, tap continue, and you can see what do you want to focus on. Overall health, sleep, exercise, healthy weight, and we'll just tap overall health, and it says you're all set, and tap start. So now it can use all of this, settings and reminders, allow permission. You do have to allow an awful lot of things to get this set up, but we have different measurements available. You'll see snore detection and more. So if you want to utilize those for sleep and steps and everything else, you can do that. If we go back in, it can restore data if you've set it up on a different device before, so we'll go ahead and do that. There we are, and as I showed you before, we do have a running guide as well. So if you use this regularly for running, you'll be able to measure what you're currently at and then set it up however you'd like, so you can have different targets and more. Another thing that's new is an antioxidant index. So maybe we'll go into the health app here, and you'll see food, body. We'll continue down and you'll see antioxidant. So we'll go into index and then we can measure. And we do this a little differently. So we go ahead and hit OK here. We'll place our thumb on the bottom and it will measure this in real time. So we'll give it a second here to measure and see what we get. Now, during the pre-release viewing of these, everyone basically showed very low. So this is something maybe due to travel or more that could be improved, and it gives you information about that. So it says find out how antioxidants affect your body. So you do have this option, you can measure it, but you do have to take it off your wrist to do that. Additionally, if we go back in, we'll go back home here, and then we'll swipe up, we'll go back into health, and you'll see track vascular load, and then we have the ages index, and all of the other things as well, stress, blood oxygen, and everything else you would expect from the watch. It feels very fast and fluid though, and seems like it should be pretty nice to use regularly. Of course, I'll have to use it quite a bit to see what it's like, but my favorite thing about it is that we have the option for Gemini. So in order to activate Gemini, we press and hold the home button. So what's the weather like today? So we can see that and rotate the bezel here. What will the weather be like tomorrow? So it gave me the information, and you can use Gemini just like you would on your phone, but using it on your wrist. So that seems really nice to be able to use. You could set a timer, of course. Set a timer for 10 minutes. And you'll see how fast it actually works. So now we've got a 10-minute timer. We can go in and you'll see different information here. We can't tap on it apparently, but you have the option to give it a thumbs up or down. Cancel the timer for 10 minutes. There we go. So again, you can use Gemini, and that's probably my favorite thing on here. So I'll have to play around with some of the settings, the watch faces, and more. But let me know what you think about the Watch 8 Classic. I really like the rotating bezel to get through things. And of course, trying out something such as an Apple Watch and then coming to this actually feels very fluid and fast. But I will have to get used to it and try it out. Now, of course, I need to try it on my wrist first here. So let's go ahead and see what this looks like. The band is very comfortable, and you'll see it seems to fit well. Now, of course, this is a fairly large watch. You'll need to actually have pretty large wrists for this to look decent, but this is a 46mm watch. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. And if there's anything you'd like to know about this you haven't seen elsewhere, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Of course, I'll link a wallpaper for you, the ones from the latest Z Fold series, in the description below. And if you haven't subscribed already, though, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.